Woo woo. I'm going to wait like 1 minute and just see if anybody else joins so you can awkwardly stare at my face. Until then. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start. So this week, you guys are working on some of the stuff from last week in a new way. So last week we worked on finger picking and kind of like separating chords out, right? Using that PIMA. We're going to do the same thing, the same style of accompaniment this week. But instead of using our fingers, we're going to pick it. And I just had a pick sitting here. Sorry, that's annoying. And now I don't. So let me grab one real quick. My dogs are like, what's happening? All right. So the style is the same. Except that instead of using my fingers, I'm using a pick. So for example, if you look at the beginning of measure 55, I've got a C major chord. And as I mentioned, right, we're always going to put the bass first. So for C major, I'm going to finger the C major chord in my left hand, and then I'm picking with my right hand. I'm starting on the A string because C major, we don't play the low E string. And all I'm going to do is, instead of using my fingers to pick, I'm going to use my pick to pick through all of the strings. And then I'm going to make my way back down. Okay. We are learning. It is a really tricky chord to play. It is the F chord. And because we're learning it in this style, so you may have seen it if you've got chord charts or you're looking at chord diagrams online. F is typically a bar chord because we are playing it in a finger picking style where we're only playing selected strings. We are going to use a different hand position for F. So you are still barring, but you are barring only 2 strings. So you're going to bar, which means I'm going to use one finger to play multiple strings, right? So I'm going to bar the bottom 2 strings, my B string and my E string, using my pointer finger. Okay, so the first step of this chord before you try to do anything else is to bar those bottom 2 strings. Make sure both of those strings are making a sound. Okay, if they're not, I'm going to show you an alternate fingering for this in a minute. Then I'm just going to stair step my other 2 fingers. So my next finger is going on the D string on the 2nd fret, and my next finger is going on the G string up, and then the D, my ring finger is going on the D string, and I'm just stair stepping. So 2nd fret, 3rd fret, right? And this is my F chord. When I play F chord, I'm starting on the D string. That's where my root is. And then I'm coming up through the rest of my strings and back down. So picking wise, right, it would be the same thing. And then I'm coming back down. Now you can hear that my E string is not sounding. I have a hard time with this chord, so I use the alternate fingering that I'm going to show you right now, which is that instead of barring these bottom 2, I'm going to take these 2 fingers. So this is going to be my middle finger and pointer finger. I'm going to use 2 fingers to play these strings. Then I'm going to stair step my ring finger and my pinky finger. Okay. Now, the danger in this fingering is that parts of your ring finger or pointer finger are going to touch some of your other strings. So really, really make sure that you're using the tops of your fingers here. Keep that hand nice and curved. If If that's difficult for you, push your wrist forward, okay? So if you look, 53 and 54 are just, we're finger picking through some basic examples, except, sorry, we're picking, finger picking. Good gravy, I'm having trouble with words today. Finger picking through some examples. You can play chords, full chords with a pick. You can finger pick. You can pick, however you want to do it. They've given you 4 beats on each chord. And then 54, you have some mid measure switches, so be careful there. Number 55 is straight up picking in the finger pick style. So this is that. And then I'm just coming right back down. Okay, so I'm starting with my root. I'm going through all of my strings instead of just root and 3 nylons, right? So 55 takes you through C chord, which you know, and G chord, which you know, and then F chord, which is new. So either one of those fingerings is fine. And then it takes you back to C chord for just a full chord strum. If you look at 29, the finger pick pattern changes a little bit because we're switching into 3/4 time. So they give you the option on 56. This is a great song, by the way. They give you the option to finger pick or pick. Okay. So after you've played everything on page 28, then now you've had some experience with the finger picking and you've had some experience with the finger picking style using a pick. Choose whichever is most comfortable for you. Okay. For me, it's finger picking. I hate picking like separate strings with the pick. I like playing chords or individual notes, but for me, like finding those notes and making sure I'm on the right string is always really tricky. I like finger picking because I can just hover my fingers right over those strings and I know where they are. I don't have to worry about trying to find them. So the pattern changes for 56. This is House of the Rising Sun. I will post videos of accompaniment and melody, and I will post PDFs probably tomorrow for you guys. But the finger picking is changing back, or the accompaniment style rather is changing back to the 3/4 pattern that we used last week. So right, that 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and then as the chords change, you adjust and the pattern stays the same, right? And then we hit some of that F chord in there. There's an E chord in there, which we haven't played for a while. So remember, E chord is just like A minor, but everything's up a string and you do play your low E string. So that should be pretty self-explanatory. So I will post individual videos into Google Classroom for 53, 54, 55, 56. That's all we're doing this week. Because the next thing that we're jumping into is those Carter style solos. And I don't know if you've looked ahead or not, but that's going to be one of the most difficult things that we do in this class. So I'm trying to keep it a little bit easier this week. Your playing test this week is 55. So it's the picking example. So figure out, before you do anything else, figure out what is the best, most comfortable way for you to play that F chord, because that's going to be the trickiest thing that you're working on this week is that F chord, right? So are you going to bar the bottom 2 and bar the bottom 2 and stair step from there? Are you going to use 2 fingers for these strings and stair step your ring and your pinky fingers? Okay, whatever you can make a sound and be comfortable with is what you should do. So there's no, either one of those options is fine. Okay. If you have questions, let me know. Again, just a reminder, I'm on Google Hangouts every day from 1 to 3. So you can get a hold of me there. Let me know or shoot me an email or drop a comment below this video. All right. See you guys later.